Fantastic job there from Brandon Jones.
What's up, Powerlifting Nation? Today we're talking about two topics. So first of all, we're going to be talking about Jack Reynolds and his insane performance at Powerlifting America Nationals. And then we're going to be talking about the under 93 juniors that are going to compete against each other at Powerlifting America Nationals in 2 months' time. So that's going to be exciting. But let's first talk about Jack. So Jack is undoubtedly the best sub-junior in the world right now. He's in the under 93 kg class, and he competed at the Powerlifting America Nationals this last week, and he had some big expectations for this meet. In training, he totaled 875.5 kg, and it looked like he could have done more. And so he was aiming to total around this amount at the meet, and unfortunately he did fall short of this goal. He ended up totaling 825 kg, which is still a very insane performance. The world record in the under 93 sub-juniors is 800.5 kg, so he broke this world record by 24.5 kg unofficially. However, I'm first going to go through his performance, and then I'm going to talk about why it's not bad that he wasn't able to fulfill his potential at this meet. So first of all, the squats didn't go as well as he would have wanted on the day. So the first squat was 285 kg, and it moved a little bit slow, and I think that it was because he sunk the lift a little bit, because he wanted to have a lot of depth. And I think that this lift scared him a tiny bit when he went on to his second attempt of 300 kg. I think he probably wanted 285 to move quicker, and so with 300 kg he didn't sink the depth as much, and unfortunately he was given 3 red lights because he didn't hit enough depth. And then on his third attempt he decided to do 300 kg again, which is a smart decision, and he ended up getting the lift. He sunk the lift a little bit and managed to have convincing depth, and it moved really well. I think that he could have squatted around 310, 315 on the day. Moving on to bench press, he is obviously known for his bench press. On his second attempt he did 205 kg and it moved really well. But I think he said that his pec was feeling a little bit tender on the day after this bench press, and so he decided to not do his third attempt. But I think that from the way 205 moved, I think he could have done 210, 215, which is insane for an 18-year-old under 93 sub-junior. And then finally on deadlifts, on his second attempt he did a 320 kg deadlift and it moved so well. And then he moved up to 345 kg. This would have given him an 850 kg total. But unfortunately, he didn't get the lift. However, I think that on the day he could have done a 335, maybe even a 340 kg deadlift. I think 345 is just too much on the day. And so yes, like I said, he ended up with an 825 kg total. An unofficial world record by 24.5 kg. And yes, this was 50 kg less than he maybe would have liked. However, this was very promising. First of all, I think that if he had had a perfect day, I could see him totaling 850 kg, maybe a little bit more, which is obviously crazy. But also, I think that it's good that this competition happened because he's going to learn so much. We see a lot of sub-juniors do massive performances in the gym, and these performances don't translate into meets. And I think that the only real way to improve this is by doing more meets. And so he managed to get loads of experience at this meet, and I think that this is going to help him. His next meet is going to be the Powerlifting America Sub-Junior Nationals. He will obviously win that meet, and I would like to see how much he totals. I think he will total 850 kg, maybe a little bit more. And then his next competition will be the World Championships, and I think that he will total more than 875 kg at the meet, because I think that he is going to learn from his mistakes, tweak a few things, and I think that 875 kg seems very doable, which is insane because a few years ago 875 kg would be enough to podium in a lot of world championships in the open, so of people of any age in the under 93 kg class. So yeah, from this meet, I think Jack Reynolds is looking very strong. He just needs to perfect a few things. And if he can perfect a few things and total around 880 kg later this year, then this is going to be big, because there is kind of a battle between Elliott Sykes and Jack Reynolds to see who is going to be the greatest sub-junior of all time. Right now, Elliott Sykes is, I would say, clearly the greatest sub-junior of all time. He broke the world record in the 74s by 110 kg, I believe, in the sub-juniors. But also, pound for pound, he has the best GL points, he has the best dots. However, I think that if Jack Reynolds managed to do an 880 kg total as a 93, I think that he would have a very strong argument to say that he is the greatest sub-junior of all time. Why? Well, first of all, accolades. He has won a bronze medal 2 years ago in the under 74 kg class at the World Championships when he was only 16 years old, I believe. And then at 17 years old last year, he moved up a weight class to the under 83s and won a gold medal. I think he broke the world record in the 83s by 65 kg. And then if this year he manages to do what I think he can do, he'll get another gold medal in the under 93s and break the world record by an insane amount. He would also have a very similar GL points and dots to Elliott Sykes. And so I think that because Jack Reynolds has the world titles, I would have to say that he would become the greatest sub-junior of all time. So it will be interesting to see if Jack is able to do this. Do you think that by the end of this year, Jack Reynolds will be labelled as the greatest sub-junior of all time? But now let's move on to the battle of the under 93 juniors. This is going to be an interesting battle. We're talking about, by the way, the juniors in America. So these juniors are going to compete against each other at the junior nationals in 2 months' time. And it's going to be insane to see who comes out with the biggest total. Why? Well, 2 of the top juniors competed at the Powerlifting America Open Nationals just to see how they would do. So we had Brandon Jones and Jordan McKinley, and both of these guys are probably the strongest under 93 juniors the world has ever seen. So Brandon Jones ended up with an 877.5 kg total, including a 325 kg squat, where he had room left in the tank. Then he had a bench press of 220 kg, and then finally he had a deadlift of 332.5 kg, giving him an unofficial world record of 877.5 kg. An insane performance. One of the greatest junior male performances powerlifting has ever seen. And then we also have Jordan McKinley, who is very strong. However, he wasn't able to execute like Brandon did. He ended up missing his final squat and ended up with a 295 kg squat from his second attempt. He managed to get a bench press of 215 kg. And then on deadlifts, he missed a 357.5 kg on his third attempt. And so he ended up with his second attempt of 347.5 kg to still give him a massive total of 857.5 kg. And so Brandon has decided to not do junior nationals. And so he is going to use this total to hopefully help him qualify for the national championships. So he's hoping that at the junior nationals, no one will beat this total, and so he will be picked to go to the world championships. However, I think that this could maybe be a mistake, because I think that if Jordan McKinley is able to fix a few things, he could definitely go over 877.5 kg. And if Powerlifting America decides to only bring one under 93 junior to the world championships, then Jordan will be picked over Brandon, which would be a massive shame because Brandon is looking very strong. However, there is a chance that even if Powerlifting America decides to bring 2 under 93 juniors to the two worlds, Brandon Jones could miss out. Why? Because William Bull, who is 18 years old and is looking very strong, could also go over 877.5 kg at the Powerlifting America Junior Nationals. Why? Well, he has totaled 850 kg in training. However, this was nowhere near his top end. And I think that if he has a perfect day, he could potentially go over 877.5 kg. And that could mean that both Jordan and William Bull will go to the World Championships and Brandon Jones will be left, despite having an insane total of 877.5 kg. I think that's unlikely. I think that most likely both Brandon and Jordan will go to the World Championships. I think that William Bull most likely won't be able to execute enough on the day to go over 877.5 kg. But yeah, it's going to be insane regardless to watch these three this year. It will be insane to see who comes out with the best year. And it will be insane to see who manages to total the most this year, because Brandon looked like he could have totaled 885, maybe 890 on the day, which is crazy. And all three of these guys are going to be the future of powerlifting. So yeah, it's going to be crazy. And genuinely, thank you very much for buying the RP10 merch. I really appreciate it. Once again, go to rp10.shop and get yourself some clothing if you want. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.